When we talk about self-worth, it's easy to imagine it as something intrinsic and untouchable. But the truth is that self-worth is a relationship one you have with yourself. And like any relationship, it's influenced by what we allow into our lives. Every interaction, every response we give, and every piece of energy we expend shapes that relationship. Engaging with negativity, whether it's through an argument, a defense, or even a simple reaction, sends a message to yourself about how much you value your own peace. Imagine it this way: every time you react to someone's toxic behavior, you're choosing to center their energy, their chaos, over your calm. It's not intentional, but it happens. And over time, this pattern creates a cycle, one where your worth becomes tied to external validation or the need to win in situations that never truly serve you. When you step back and decide not to engage, it's not about letting them win or walking away from a challenge. It's about realizing that their noise, their opinions, their negativity, none of it defines who you are. Your worth isn't determined by how well you defend yourself or how strongly you fight back against someone's words or actions. Instead, it's reflected in the boundaries you set, the peace you protect, and the energy you refuse to squander. Think about the times you've argued with someone who was committed to misunderstanding you. Did it change their perspective? Did it help you feel lighter or more validated? Or did it leave you drained, replaying the conversation in your head, wishing you'd said something differently? These moments teach us that not every battle deserves our energy. Your self-worth is far too valuable to be chipped away by someone else's chaos. By choosing not to react and cutting them off silently, you're making a profound declaration that your peace and your value are not negotiable. You're telling yourself and the world that you won't allow someone else's noise to dictate how you see yourself or where your energy goes. This isn't about being dismissive or cold. It's about choosing yourself in a world that often demands you prioritize others. Silence in the face of negativity isn't just about avoiding conflict, it's an act of self-preservation. It's recognizing that you don't owe anyone your energy, your explanations, or your reactions. It's about preserving your self-worth by refusing to let someone's toxicity pull you into a spiral of doubt, frustration, or anger. Silence is often misunderstood. People may see it as passive, weak, or even as an admission of defeat. But true silence, the kind that comes from a place of self-awareness and intentionality, is one of the most powerful tools you can wield. It's not about retreating, it's about choosing not to play a game that drains your energy and distracts you from what truly matters. When someone tries to provoke you, whether through words or actions, their power over you lies in your reaction. They thrive on it. They want to know they've gotten under your skin, that they've triggered something in you, that they matter enough for you to respond. Reacting in this context becomes a form of validation. You may think you're standing up for yourself or proving a point, but often your reaction gives them exactly what they wanted: your time, your energy, your focus. Silence, on the other hand, denies them that validation. It's a refusal to engage, a refusal to let their noise disrupt your peace. But it's not just about them, it's about you. Silence gives you space to process without being swept up in the storm of the moment. It allows you to observe, reflect, and make decisions from a place of clarity rather than impulse. The power of silence lies in what it communicates without a single word. It says, I see you, but I'm not moved by you. I'm choosing myself over this moment. It shifts the dynamic completely. Instead of getting pulled into someone else's chaos, you anchor yourself in your own stillness. This is not avoidance, it's strategy. It's understanding that not every battle deserves your energy and that some conflicts can only exist if you allow them to. There's also a profound dignity in silence. When you don't react, you don't risk saying something you'll regret or escalating a situation that doesn't deserve escalation. Silence protects your integrity. It gives you the upper hand, not in a way that seeks to dominate, but in a way that preserves your peace and keeps you grounded in your values. Silence can also be a mirror. It forces others to sit with their actions and words without the distraction of your reaction. They're left to confront themselves, and often that's far more impactful than anything you could say. Your silence becomes a boundary, an unspoken statement that their behavior is not worth your time or engagement. In a world that values quick comebacks, loud opinions, and constant engagement, choosing silence is a radical act. It's an act of self-control and self-respect. It's about recognizing that the most powerful thing you can do sometimes is to say nothing at all. Silence allows you to rise above the noise, to stand firm in your worth, and to remind yourself that your energy is yours to protect. Growth is a journey that requires focus, intention, and energy. It's a path that demands you prioritize what nourishes you over what depletes you. When you're caught in the cycle of reacting to negativity or trying to manage the behavior of others, it becomes almost impossible to give your full attention to your own evolution. Growth isn't about fixing everyone else or winning every battle. It's about becoming the person you aspire to be, regardless of what's happening around you. When you react to toxic people or situations, you inadvertently divert energy that could be spent on your own betterment. Every moment spent justifying yourself, defending your choices, or arguing with someone who doesn't respect your boundaries is a moment taken away from building your future. These distractions anchor you to the past or entangle you in the present turmoil, making it harder to look forward and focus on what truly matters. Choosing to cut someone off silently isn't just about removing negativity, it's about creating space for growth, healing, and transformation. Imagine trying to plant a garden in soil that's full of weeds. No matter how much effort you put into nurturing the seeds, the weeds will choke them out. The same is true for your life. Toxic relationships and unnecessary conflicts are the weeds, and cutting them off is how you clear the space for your growth to take root. Growth requires clarity, and clarity comes from detaching yourself from the noise. It's about stepping back and asking, is this helping me become the person I want to be? If the answer is no, then disengaging isn't an act of cruelty or avoidance, it's an act of self-respect. It's recognizing that your energy is finite and precious and that it should be spent on things that align with your purpose and values. Focusing on growth also means recognizing that not everyone and everything can come with you on your journey. There will be people who resist your change because it challenges their perception of you or their place in your life. There will be situations that try to pull you back into old patterns. But growth demands that you make hard choices, that you prioritize your future over your comfort or others' expectations. Cutting ties silently allows you to make those choices without the drama or distraction of prolonged confrontation. Growth isn't linear and it's rarely easy. It requires reflection, learning, and sometimes solitude. When you choose not to react to negativity, you're giving yourself the time and space to focus on what truly matters. You're freeing yourself to invest in habits, relationships, and pursuits that align with your goals. You're allowing yourself to learn from past mistakes without being weighed down by the need to explain them to others. Focusing on growth is about realizing that your energy is a resource, and like any resource, it must be managed wisely. It's about recognizing that the more you invest in yourself, the less power external negativity will have over you. Growth comes from within, and it flourishes when you choose to nurture it, even if that means walking away from people or situations that don't support it. Boundaries are one of the most profound ways we communicate who we are, what we value, and what we will or will not accept in our lives. They are not just rules we set for others, they are reflections of the respect we hold for ourselves. A boundary is an act of self-preservation, a line drawn not to push others away, but to protect the integrity of our peace, our time, and our emotional well-being. When someone crosses your boundaries, your reaction or lack thereof speaks louder than any argument could. It's not about explaining why the boundary exists or convincing someone of its importance. Often people who violate boundaries aren't looking to understand, they're looking to test. By engaging in lengthy explanations or justifications, you give them an opening to challenge you further. Silent disengagement, on the other hand, sends a clear and unshakable message: this is non-negotiable. Setting boundaries silently doesn't mean you're avoiding conflict or being passive. It means you're choosing to communicate through action rather than words. Actions are harder to dismiss or distort. When you refuse to engage with someone who disrespects your limits, you are teaching them without speaking that your boundaries are firm and that your peace cannot be disturbed at their convenience. A boundary isn't just about saying no. It's about living in alignment with your values. It's about recognizing that not everything or everyone deserves access to your time and energy. And when you enforce those boundaries, even without explanation, you create a ripple effect. People begin to understand how to treat you, not because you've told them, but because you've shown them. The beauty of boundaries lies in their clarity. They strip away the noise and the guesswork. Instead of getting entangled in arguments about why someone's behavior is unacceptable, you simply step away, leaving no room for misinterpretation. This clarity is not just for others, it's for you. It reinforces your sense of self and reminds you that you are in control of what you allow into your life. Boundaries also serve as a mirror. When you enforce them, especially through silent actions, you allow others to reflect on their behavior. There's something powerful about not reacting when someone expects you to. It forces them to sit with their actions without the distraction of your response. It's in this silence that they may begin to question themselves, something words often fail to achieve. It's important to understand that boundaries are not about punishing others, they're about protecting yourself. When you cut someone off silently, it's not an act of hostility. It's an act of self-respect. It's saying, I value myself too much to stay in a space where I am not respected or valued. Boundaries are a declaration of what you will and will not accept in your life, and enforcing them without fanfare is often the most impactful way to ensure they are respected. Creating boundaries can feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to prioritizing others over yourself, but the discomfort is temporary, and the reward is lasting. With each boundary you set, you reclaim a piece of yourself. You create a life that is more aligned with your values and less influenced by the expectations or behavior of others. By allowing your actions to do the talking, you avoid unnecessary conflict and conserve your energy for what truly matters. Boundaries are about you, not them. They are a tool for growth, a shield for your peace, and a way to honor your journey. When you enforce them silently, you amplify their power, letting your life and not your words show the world how you deserve to be treated. Peace is one of the most underrated gifts we can give ourselves. In a world that often celebrates busyness, noise, and constant engagement, the pursuit of peace can feel like a rebellion. But true peace, the kind that exists within you regardless of external circumstances, is invaluable. It is not the absence of challenges or difficulties, it's the presence of calm in the midst of chaos. Peace doesn't come from avoiding life's complexities, but from learning to navigate them with intention and grace. When you choose to cut someone off silently, instead of reacting to their negativity, you are giving yourself the gift of peace. Reactions, especially to toxic people or situations, often come at a high cost. They stir up emotions, drag you into unnecessary conflicts, and leave you feeling drained and unsettled. Every argument, every attempt to explain yourself, every moment spent defending your position chips away at your inner calm. And for what? The need to be understood, the desire to prove a point. These are fleeting victories that rarely justify the toll they take on your well-being. Peace, on the other hand, is enduring. It is a state of mind that requires nurturing and protection. By cutting someone off silently, you create a boundary that shields your peace from being eroded by negativity. This act of disengagement isn't about avoiding confrontation or pretending the problem doesn't exist. It's about prioritizing your well-being over the fleeting satisfaction of a reaction. It's choosing to preserve your calm rather than sacrificing it on the altar of someone else's chaos. There is a profound liberation in silence. It allows you to step back and detach yourself from the emotions of the moment. Instead of being swept up in someone else's storm, you anchor yourself in your own stillness. This detachment isn't indifference, it's wisdom. It's recognizing that your peace is too precious to be given away to people or situations that don't deserve it. The gift of peace also transforms how you experience the world. When you protect your peace, you see things with greater clarity. You're not clouded by the noise of conflict or the weight of unresolved emotions. You can focus on what truly matters, your growth, your goals, and the relationships that uplift and inspire you. Peace becomes a foundation for a life that is intentional and fulfilling. Holding on to peace doesn't mean you'll never face difficulties or confront challenges, but it does mean you approach them differently. Instead of reacting impulsively, you respond thoughtfully. Instead of being consumed by anger or frustration, you remain grounded in your calm. Peace gives you the space to choose your actions wisely, to act in alignment with your values rather than being driven by the heat of the moment. Protecting your peace is also an act of self-respect. It's a way of saying, I value myself enough to not let others dictate my emotions or disrupt my stability. This self-respect becomes a guiding force, helping you navigate relationships and situations with a sense of purpose and strength. It empowers you to walk away from toxicity without guilt, knowing that your peace is non-negotiable. The gift of peace extends beyond yourself. When you cultivate inner peace, it radiates outward, influencing how you interact with others and how they perceive you. Your calm presence can be a source of stability for those around you, a reminder that it's possible to navigate life's challenges without losing your center. Peace isn't just something you keep for yourself, it's something you share through the way you live and engage with the world. Choosing peace is not always easy. It requires discipline, self-awareness, and the courage to walk away from situations that threaten to disturb it. But the effort is worth it because peace is not just a gift you give yourself in the moment, it's a gift that keeps giving. It creates a ripple effect, shaping the quality of your life and the lives of those who share your space. Protecting your peace is an investment in your well-being, your future, and the kind of life you want to lead.